Fight Club, a film adapted from the novel of the same name by Chuck Palahniuk, leaves a dark and somber impression after the first viewing, with a surprising ending. However, upon further consideration, one can detect a lot of irony and dark humor in the film. This movie is more complex than what many people perceive it to be. I have watched numerous reviews of this film, and most of them focus on one aspect: its criticism of consumer society. While this is indeed a major theme in the movie, it is not the only thing that makes it interesting. If we only see this movie through that lens, we may miss out on many other themes and ideas. The film is not about ridiculing consumer society, but rather about a person's acceptance of this value system. It is about choice and how facts are just facts and nothing more, and whether something is good or bad depends on a person's reaction to it. This is clearly shown in the movie. One of the most memorable scenes is when Tyler goes to meet with the others and presses the accelerator to the floor, driving towards a large truck. The fact is that the truck is going to hit the car they are in, but it is up to them how they react to this situation. But the reaction to this fact differs for the characters. The main character is shaken and afraid of dying. Tyler, on the other hand, is steadfast, and there is no fear in his actions. All acceptance or rejection of any values of society or group is expressed through different reactions to the same situation. That's all there is to it. There are many scenes in the film that demonstrate this, and the entire development of the character's character is based on this principle. The director shows us how the main character's perspective changes through a shift in his reaction to a particular event. Consider, for example, his thoughts about the explosion of his apartment at the start of the film, compared to his thoughts in the middle of the film, and everything falls into place. The life of the protagonist until the very end of the film follows a predictable path, following the norms of society. At first, these norms are sweetly laughed at throughout the film. Later, Tyler's authority, which leads to anarchy across the country, is also followed. However, neither of these things are what the protagonist truly desires. It is only at the end, after Tyler's death and the pistol shot, that he finds long-awaited freedom. This freedom is achieved by throwing away everything he had and becoming responsible for his own life. According to the main ideas, everything seems to be there in the film. However, I want to talk about some smaller details that I noticed in the movie as well. Overall, the film is a treasure trove of funny moments centered around the character's schizophrenic nature. But what stands out most is his relationship with Marla Singer. Can you imagine how subtly and elegantly David Fincher portrayed the love of a woman for a so-called asshole? Throughout the movie, the main character sleeps with Marla under the guise of Tyler Durden, and then simply kicks her out like nothing happened. And then he told her that Tyler had left. I can't imagine what went through Marla's mind when he delivered this news with an extremely serious expression. After all, she thought he was Tyler. The hero's escapades at the beginning of the film are a metaphor for the routine of the average person in society. An hour gained, an hour lost. This is life. Why are we all so afraid of the idea of hell when we create it for ourselves by forcing ourselves into routines? Although routines are just a matter of how we perceive events. Well worn in Fight Club and The Power of Words, the requester always receives what they ask for, and the teacher appears when the student is ready. The entire beginning of the film depicts the main character's hatred for life and his lack of desire to live, as he is willing to die in a plane crash. However, he finds salvation in Tyler, who opens up to him about the life he wants, but is afraid to pursue himself. My father, who did not have a college education, encourages me to pursue one. After graduating from university, I call him and ask what's next. He tells me to find a job, which I do at age 25. Then, I call again and again to ask what's next, but he always says the same thing: get a job. I'm still calling him, and he replies, get married, son. Tyler's monologue highlights the influence of family and social institutions on our personal development. This institution has a strong influence on human socialization, but often, parents themselves do not understand it well, and for the sake of their children, they try to fulfill in them what they themselves could not achieve or teach them how to do what everyone else does. They simply want to do their best by guiding their children towards happiness, but without realizing it, they guide them in the opposite direction, preventing them from making an informed choice on their own, which is the only path towards that goal. Many critics have said that Fight Club calls for people to overthrow the government, but I see a diametrically opposed meaning here. Tyler and the consumer society are two sides of the same coin. There will always be those who are oppressed and those who oppress. The lower classes, dissatisfied with their situation, may revolt and become just like those they overthrew, or even worse. Therefore, the film is not about promoting propaganda, vandalism, or calls for revolution, as some might say. Rather, it shows that revolution brings only destruction. The destruction of buildings at the end of the film serves as a good example of this. The people who promote a new idea often become even more tyrannical and oppressive than the existing government, as seen in Tyler's attempt to create a new world through Project Mayhem. People should not even have names in this context. So what kind of improvement are we talking about? That's all for today. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to the channel and leave a comment below with your thoughts on the movie Fight Club. Have a great day and see you soon.